Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday the 12th of February 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 164. I think that's the number. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube video about counted cross stitch. Tiny bit of life stuff. It's quite late today, it's like 4:45 in the afternoon, and I have been more recently trying to get my video done quite early Sunday morning, but I just busy weekend, busy day. I just got back from running some errands, some recycling, picked up a new soundbar from excuse me, Harvey Norman, and dropped off some walnut shell to somebody, to Nicole. So basically, yeah, just been busy. Quick update on Dad, he's doing good, at least when I spoke to him yesterday. I think this new medicine that he's on to help his aorta work a bit better seems to be doing the trick, which is really good. So hopefully that means that he continues to feel okay and won't need surgery, which will be, I don't even know if he can have surgery, but yeah, we definitely don't want him to have surgery. And everyone else is doing okay, I think. I have been enjoying having my ducted heat pump / air conditioning here at home. Went into the office last week, and Tuesday was just absolutely unbearable in the office. And I sort of was joking with someone else that he was saying, I bet you facilities want to save money, so they haven't turned the air conditioning down to a lower temperature, because everyone was like, I complain on a good day, add menopause and then add in just horrendous humidity and stuff, but other people who don't usually complain were like, it's so hot, and several complaints went through to facilities. It turns out our aircon at work is broken, so I was joking like, I bet you it's just making noise, it's not even turned on. Pretty much just making noise. We could hear the fan noise, but the actual cooling units, both cooling units had broken down. So hopefully it's going to be fixed this week. I'm not sure I want to go in this week if it isn't. In fact, it was just absolutely ridiculously hot. I'll see tomorrow whether it's going to be fixed. They're hoping, apparently the proper part's going to take 6 months, but they can sort of jerry rig something, I don't know, sellotape and paper clips or something. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it sucked because it's been so hot. Of course, at the moment we're watching carefully to see what happens with the cyclone that's about to hit the North Island. I haven't looked at the news yet. I'm not quite sure where it's at, but certainly all the civil defence and emergency services and stuff are on call and have asked people to be prepared. At this stage, it isn't forecast to be too bad down here in Wellington, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so hopefully it's not as bad as it could be. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's just kind of a bit scary. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I have bought nothing new. I do have still my A Stitch in Time parcel. It is in New Zealand. Hopefully it'll be delivered this week. And that's just a couple of things and a spool of Veriswa 103. But yeah, I haven't bought anything else. So I've got a lot of stuff kitted up that isn't going to get started this year, so I don't need to buy too much. Not that excited about market, I guess. I mean, if you don't go looking, you won't get FOMO, right? So I'm not sure that I'm going to try hard to look and see what's coming out. I really just don't need tons and tons of stuff right now, but if something pops up that I really like, depending on where it's from, if it's something that's unlikely to go out of stock pretty quickly, I'll just leave it until I'm ready to get it. If it's something that's likely to be limited, then we'll make that decision when it comes. That's pretty much the life update, and yeah, nothing new. So I do have a little bit of stitching to show you. Are you surprised? I'm sure you're not. Where shall I start? I'll start with a finish. So I have a finish Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. That was stitched on 40 count Woodsmoke by TabbyCat using Anchor Black. This was a start at the end of the year, last year, 48 of 50 for my 50 at 50 endeavour, and I finished it on the 6th of February. And there she is, and really happy with it. Pretty much as charted, apart from where I made a mistake, which essentially is I stitched a row of the alphabet too close to the other row of the alphabet, so then I added an extra row up here so that the overall size is similar. Now I have had some questions in my comments around how I stitch houses, and do I skip windows, or how do I stitch around, especially when the windows are left empty. I am going to do a stitch with me / needles on fire. I mentioned it a few weeks ago, but as you may recall, you know, my friend had a bereavement, just, you know, life got a bit weird. So hopefully I might get that done this coming weekend. And one of the things I'll talk about, and I'll show some examples, including the bags of how I stitch the houses when I'm doing both, you know, little houses and big houses, and how far I carry my thread and all that. Isn't it lovely? So I do like it, and another one for the pile. But yeah, that's the second finish for the year from my carried over whip, so that's pretty exciting. So next up, I carried on with my goals for the year, which is picked up the 2021 ornaments from Linen and Threads. These were freebies that were attached to the 2021 mystery stitch along, and they had an ornament chart every month. So I'm stitching all of these on 40 count pearl grey linen from Zweigart using using variegated silks for you. This was started, so I did the first 2 in January, started on the 14th of January, and then I've just done another 2. So I'm just these are all gonna be made into little ornaments, and so I got these 2 over the side stitched. Of all these charts, the first 2 months, January and February, were these symmetrical but not mandala-y or, you know, 4-way symmetrical designs, but all the rest of them are more on that kind of 4-way axis, as opposed to the symmetrical, more sort of animalistic design. So yeah, I'm using a different silks for you for every month's chart. So these are March and April, but for each pair I'm just picking 2 silks that are kind of similar. These are sort of almost the pastel and brighter versions of each other, and for these they both kind of had the pink, and this one was pink and teal, and this one was pink and turquoise and pink and purple. So happy with those. So I intend to finish them in December. And then I've been working on my Botanical Blackwork Cell 2023 from the Steady Thread, which is on a piece of 20 count Aida that I dyed using a stitch palette inspired DMC. The stitch palette was called Backyard Blossom, so if you go to stitchpalettes.com and look up, yeah, the Backyard Blossom. This I started on the 20th of January, and I've been trucking away on it. So since you last saw it, I might have got a little bit more of the greenery around the outside. I've got all 7 weeks that have been released thus far stitched in. I then added a couple of bees. So I did, because I had all my hexagons stitched, I snipped and pulled back and nestled a bumblebee and a bee in some random places. And I've added my 2023 down in the bottom there. Will I add any more little insects and things? Maybe, but I don't want to overwhelm it. So yeah, I managed to get that one nestled in around that bee and that bumblebee. Yeah, quite happy with, I like just having a couple of little things in there. Really happy with how that's come along so far. And the last thing that I worked on was I picked up the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Christie Steffensen, SarcyGurl, and sorry, did I say Steffensen? I'm not sure if I said her name right. This is on 40 count Prehistoric from Fox and Rabbit, using my partial conversion. The red the orange and the kind of colour that I stitched the fox in are all Victorian Motto sampler shop threads. The rest is called for DMC. And since you last saw it, I finished the border. So the border was about done to about here from the bottom and about here. So I stitched a probably good half of the border, and I've got even the corners done. So that is all finished. So now I've just got one big house and a bunch of motifs to do. Really happy with it. So when I do my Stitch With Me Needles on Fire, I'll probably stitch the house, get stitching on that big white house, and I can talk about stitching houses, and I've got a couple of other questions and stuff. So yeah, again, hopefully I'll get that recorded next weekend. So that's everything I have to show you. So it's a bit freaking tragic, isn't it? I don't know, I just haven't got anything to import anything. 4 pieces of stitching, and that's kind of it. I might have a new start. We'll see how I go. I might start something new this week coming. I've finished 2 things, and I'm trying to keep my whips, get my whips down. So I'm trying to think. There's so many sales that my whips went up because I've darted about 5 freaking stitch alongs. So, but they're all going to be finished by December. So, you know, I have plans to work on all of my sales every month and have them all finished by December. So they're kind of all projects. Well, that botanical one I can't finish until each one's released, but you know, it's not a huge project. And I do need to still stitch on my New Zealand Flowers Ball by Cherry Parker. I do need to stitch on that still this month, and that'll probably come out this week. I need to find a hoop to put Mermaid, is it Mermaid Song? I forgot what it's called, in, and because I want to do all the satin stitch on the sea, the ocean, so I need to do that. So I need to find the right size hoop for that. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I kind of feel like maybe I need a new start. I don't know. Maybe I'll finish one more thing before I start something. I'm not really sure. So this week, yeah, do the New Zealand Flowers Ball. That gets me up to date with all my sales. I've stitched on all the other ones, I think, this month. Done my ornaments. And yeah, if I can find a hoop, I will work on Mermaid's, is it Mermaid Song? I can't remember what it's called. Mermaid, I don't know, completely blank. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'm going to be working on this week. I do have a couple of late nights, hair appointment one night, and not sure what else, something else. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, in theory, working in the office 3 days, don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. It's a really short video, but you know, there's plenty else to watch there. And it's like 5 o'clock, so I sort of am quite pleased this one's going to be a little one. Hopefully it won't take 6 hours to get up like it did last week, and it wasn't that long. I don't know what was up with YouTube, it took so long to process. We'll see what happens. I hope everyone's doing okay. Please keep safe, especially if you're in the path of a cyclone. And I'm distracted by the neighbours driving in their driveway. Find joy in your stitching, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.